Alright, let's try to get this in one take so I don't have to edit it much. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Carson and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this video is quite literally what the title says. This is the truth about my recovery story. I remember being very, very young when I started collecting cigarette butts off the ground for a little project that I was going to do for show and tell about the dangers of smoking. At this point, I had seen people all around me smoke. I had seen people around me drink. I'd been to bars at this point. And while this was a couple years before I took my first drink, I really wanted to share a good message. Ironic considering where my life led me. I had my first drink when I was 11 years old. I stole whiskey from my parents and I drank alone. I didn't realize how much of a red flag that was until a lot later. I then would go drinking whenever I could until I was around 17 when I smoked marijuana for the first time. Marijuana was the only substance I took that really just didn't affect me. It was confusing. I didn't quite get why that was the case. It would be another couple years before I would vape for the first time. I believe I would have been 19 or 20. To be fair, that time of my life was quite the blur, so I don't really remember when the first time happened. All I know is that as my drinking got worse, especially in the peak of my addiction in 2018, I would vape and I would smoke weed a lot more often, especially if I didn't have alcohol at my disposal. In 2019, I revealed my face, and my first vlog was a vlog of me cutting my hair. It's no longer available on this YouTube channel, not because I had a falling out with the friend I featured in the video, but rather because in the very last clip you can see me holding a vape. Throughout 2019, I'd become a daily vape user. Right before I quit alcohol in 2020, I quit vaping. All of this was something I was scared to share because I know people have their hot takes on nicotine. If you know anything about addiction, you know that the more you shame somebody, the least likely they are to want to quit doing something, because shame is such a big part of why people turn to substances in the first place. And as you know, I relapsed in 2022. The day I relapsed, I bought my very first set of cigarettes. Over the course of the year leading up to that relapse, I did smoke cigarettes here and there. The one time I can remember very clearly was for a project that I participated in with a friend, where I was playing a stoner character, and rather than having me actually smoke weed, they just gave me a cigarette to smoke. So when I bought the pack of cigarettes, I thought, well, might as well if I'm gonna have some vodka tonight. This led to me buying a pack of cigarettes every single day for 2 years. And yes, that includes into my sobriety of 2 years. Back in January, I started receiving help to get off the cigarettes. And I did. I have been without a cigarette now for almost 5 months, but I still vape every day. It's very, very hard to talk about this because it's still something I'm working through. And it's hard because I know so many people are going to judge me for this, more than the alcohol. But I know that in sharing this, I can highlight a few different things. Number one, if you are struggling with this, no, you're not alone. Number two, If you have people in your life who are shaming you, understand that that comes from themselves and their own insecurities and their own lack of growth. It has nothing to do with you. And number 3, most importantly, you do have help out there for you when you are ready. I don't believe in the model of recovery where you have to do something the second you know it's wrong. I think everyone who engages in use of nicotine knows that it's not healthy for you and that you are slowly hurting yourself. I knew that years before I even picked up my first cigarette. The key thing that I think every person needs in order to change any behavior, whether it's smoking or it's being healthier in their day-to-day life, changing their diet, or just learning how to take accountability, they have to want it. They have to want it. I wanted to quit smoking this year. And as I'm recording this, we are in the month of December. I want to quit smoking this year. I don't know if I will, but I'm confident by my next birthday that I can hopefully look in the mirror, proud of myself, saying that I haven't smoked in a bit. Whether that be a week, 2 weeks, a couple months, I don't know. All I know right now is that I am finally letting go of the shame that people put on me for this. I am letting go of the hurt that led me to all of this relapsing in the first place. And I'm remembering that every single choice I made that led me to this point has been with the intent to reduce harm. Because say what you want about smokers, say what you want about the negative side effects of smoking. I would die faster with a bottle of vodka and 3 months with no responsibilities instead of smoking every day. And to me, that's reducing harm. And what's funny too about all this is all the people who shamed me for this behavior, especially in the last year of my life, were people who could never relate. People who never smoked or never struggled with substance use issues. Meanwhile, it's the 2 people in my life who developed a lifelong condition from their smoking were the people who have given me the most grace and the most understanding. My hope is that in sharing this video, anyone out there struggling with a similar situation knows that I extend you that grace. It's not easy, especially in a world that's going to shame you for every little thing you do. And in my opinion, if you are working day in and day out to reduce the harm that it causes to you, if you wake up the next morning and you go about your day, you're doing the best you can. And I'm proud of you for that. So, with all that said, if you or someone you know is struggling with this, I'm going to have some resources in the description for you. Because it can be hard to know where to start. If you have a similar story or you want to share your recovery story, please leave in the comments below. I would love to read it. Please like and share this with people who you think this might resonate with. And subscribe if you want to see more content around poetry, music, and mental health from me. If you want to see more from me, consider checking out my Patreon. I'm going to be literally updating the Patreon rewards right after I finish filming this video, so consider giving it a little peruse, and if it's something that you're interested in, we'd love to have you on the official Duck Army page. You can also find me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Carson Bohdi. Now, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day whenever you're watching this. Bye, guys.